The entire Air Force is taking part in the operation that saved Israel from annihilation. Everything that can be told about the strike in Iran is coming up next. Israel launched a preemptive strike in Iran, destroying dozens of nuclear facilities and other installations that were attacked, including several senior Iranian figures that included the chief of the staff of the Revolutionary Guards, a high-ranking commander in this terrorist organization that was eliminated. And so far, 500 strikes have been reported. I'm Yair Pinto, bringing you the live version of Boots on the Ground with the most up-to-date information on the Iran strike and what is happening in Israel. Israel reveals new details about the reason for the strike, an invasion of Israeli territory. The IDF said that intelligence shows that Iranian regime set up a secret nuclear program and worked to obtain nuclear weapons in the near term. They also exposed an Iranian access plan to recreate the 7th of October. Beepers on steroids. You remember the beepers from the attack on the Hezbollah? The Mossad set up an explosive drone base in the heart of Iran. And a security source reveals the Mossad established a base of explosive drones that agents inserted deep into Iran alongside the Iranian regime anti-rocket defensive system before the attack, launching them tonight. This is everything that can be told about the daring operation of the Israeli Mossad. And right now, we have a new wave of strikes in Iran, and the IDF destroyed the Tabriz airport. Israel opened another wave of attacks against Iranian targets as part of Operation KeLavi. And the Mossad released unprecedented footage of its people operating in the Iranian heartland, and ballistic missiles were destroyed on the ground before they could be even fired at Israel. The Iranians launched 100 UAVs, suicide drones, and all of them were intercepted. The defense minister was updated, and the entire top echelon of the Iranian Air Force was eliminated. Khamenei tweeted in Hebrew, Israel should expect severe punishment. The IDF updated significant hits at the Natanz nuclear facility in Iran. At least 20 senior Iranian commanders were terminated in the Israeli strikes, and the IDF earlier confirmed the elimination of the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps Air Force Commander Amir Ali Khajadeh. Iranian reports say that Ali Raze Khajadeh, his son, may have also been terminated in this attack. Khamenei declared war readiness. These are the officials who were terminated and the new commanders. IRGC Commander Hussein Salami, who only yesterday threatened Israel. The Chief of Staff, Muhammad Bagheri, who was filmed smiling beside him during the missile attack. And former Atomic Energy Chief Faryadun Abbasi, who survived an assassination attempt 15 years ago. Iran has already appointed new commanders for the army and the Islamic Revolutionary Guards. So, the UAV headquarters commander, Taher Power, and Air Defense Commander, Davduv Shaykhian, were also terminated in this strike. The IRGC Air Force directed missile and UAV fire straight from Iran to Israel last October and the direct missile barrage in April. Iranian state TV reported a new Israeli strike on the Natanz nuclear site after the IDF said that significant damage was inflicted in that location. So the IDF struck the Shiraz region, home to a large ballistic missile site for production and also for storage. Lebanon's Hezbollah-affiliated El Mayadin news portal reported the fatalities that were listed, and Iran also reported strikes in the western part of the country. An explosion took part in Shiraz. So, how did Israel keep the opening blow so secret and provided this surprise attack on the Iranians. Let me know in the comments what you think. And right now, is a third wave on its way? Is Israel striking again on Iran? We just heard reports of a huge blast near a military base in Hamdan. And the United States president sent a threatening message to Iran after Israel's preemptive strike on the nuclear project. Iran must reach an agreement before nothing is left. This is what he wrote. I gave them a chance after a chance, but they couldn't make a deal. I told them, in the strongest words, just do it. They didn't. Now everyone is dead, and it will only get worse. Terrible losses and destruction already, but there's still time to stop before even harsher attacks. Iran must reach an agreement, save what was once the Persian Empire. No more death, no more destruction. Just do it before it's too late. God bless you all. This is what Donald Trump, the President of the United States, said. And guys, let's dive into the details. I'm Yair Pinto, and this is Boots on the Ground, the live report, bringing you all the updates about what is happening in Israel in this Israeli preemptive strike on the Iranian nuclear installations, all the way in Tehran and in the heart of Iran. So now we dive into this war with Iran, which is the head of the axis of evil in this region that funded Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis in Yemen, and now they are attacked directly on their soil. But 1 second before we start, I wanted to let you guys know that here at TBN Israel, we work very hard day and night and on weekends to bring you the truth of what is happening in Israel. We do this so that you'll know how to pray for the situation. So guys, first of all, keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem. And if you want to support our work, please visit www.tbnisrael.com/give. You can also hit that donate button and the super thank you on this live YouTube video, and it will really help us reach more people with what is happening in Israel. And now, joining us very soon is Mati Shoshani, who was called to his reserve unit in the IDF, our senior Middle East correspondent. So get ready, but we'll be with him just in a short while when I hear that he's joining this live broadcast from his military unit in Judea and Samaria. So guys, let's begin. Operation KeLavi. This is the name of this operation to destroy Iran's threat against Israel and their ability to launch missiles and to create nuclear weapons. Israel opened a broad military offensive on Iran overnight on Friday, striking in waves across the country. Dozens of nuclear facilities were hit, including Natanz, which is a key project site for the nuclear development of the nuclear program of Iran. The IDF spokesman said that during the night, more than 200 fighter jets were guided by precise intelligence, and they struck over 100 targets across Iran, including hideouts of senior Iranian military leaders. Saudi Al Arabiya quoted Israeli sources saying that 300 Israeli strikes so far took place in Iran, and Iranian media said that other targets were hit, including the Arak heavy water reactor, Parchin military complex, Kondbad reactor, plus sites in Kermanshah, Ilam, Qom, Hamdan, Kormabad, Pirshihar, Tabriz, Kasherir, Sirin. Sorry if I misspelled all of these names of the Iranian cities, but these places were attacked. And the Iranian state TV confirmed that the IRGC commander, Hussein Salami, was terminated in the initial strike. El-Haddad said that the strike also targeted the chief of staff, Muhammad Bagheri, the Quds Force commander, Ismail Kahani, and the air and the space force chief. So Reuters reported nuclear program head Ali Shamkhani was terminated as well. And Iranian TV added nuclear scientist Firyadun Abbasi, Muhammad Tarhani, and Abd el-Rahim Min Sukhar that were terminated in the strike, as well as emergency HQ chief Katam Gholam Ali Rashid. And later, an Iranian channel reported 5 deaths in an Israeli strike on a residential area in Tehran, and the identities were unverified at this point. So a security source said, chances raised that the Iranian general staff, including the chief of staff and senior nuclear scientists, were neutralized in the opening blow of the Israeli strike. The IDF spokesperson, Brigadier General Efi Dafrin, during the Israeli strike, 200 aircrafts dropped 330 munitions, eliminating the Iranian chief of staff, the Revolutionary Guards commander, and the emergency HQ chief. More commanders were terminated, and he added that Iran launched over 100 UAVs, which are suicide drones, at Israel, and they all were eradicated while being on their way to the Jewish state. Intelligence shows that Iran set a secret nuclear program aiming for weapons very soon, and senior figures in Iran, Hezbollah, and also Hamas planned precise fire by the entire axis of evil to lead to an invasion of the Israeli territory. A security source detailed this strike and said that the entire Air Force took part in the strike, the entire Air Force of Israel. The first wave hit Iran's general staff and intelligence HQ in Tehran. The second wave targeted the nuclear and the missile facilities. The third wave aimed at dozens of senior army and government officials. Additional jets hit more Iranian nuclear sites nationwide. And Israeli sources stressed that the goal is not regime change, but removing existential threats. 2 Israeli officials expect an Iranian response in the coming hours, but it didn't happen so far. The strike followed intel that Iran enriched fissile material for 15 nuclear bombs, and the Air Force completed the opening attack on dozens of nuclear sites. The source added, alongside wide Air Force strikes, that the Mossad led secret information and operations inside Iran to cripple its strategic missile array and its air defenses. And Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel even announced a family vacation up north as a deception. An Iranian source told Reuters, "Our response will be harsh and decisive." Sirens were sounded at 3 a.m. nationwide, and the Home Front Command shifted all areas to essential activity status. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, "We have no choice but to act quickly. If we don't act now, we simply won't be here. Never again is now." The United States Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, "Netanyahu will put Israel first. We'll put our interests first. Our forces are ready for any development." So guys, we at TBN Israel will keep covering every development and we'll keep spreading the truth. So guys, please share and follow us. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you receive daily boots on the ground updates from Israel and know how to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And again, guys, if you want to help us create more videos like this one and help us share the truth of what is happening in Israel, please visit tbnisrael.com/give. Every dollar will go towards creating more videos and sharing the truth. Guys, are you ready? In the last few minutes, we have received new reports that arrived that another strike wave has just ended in Iran, and the Israeli Air Force keeps pounding Iranian targets. So today, Friday, another wave focused on Tabriz airport, serving both civilian and military targets. Iran said that 5 people lost their lives and 12 were wounded. After the strikes, Arab networks reported a loud blast near Hamdan at the Nujeh Air Base, and the IDF spokesman Efi Dafrin confirmed, "We struck the Natanz enrichment site, its underground area, and other vital infrastructure." Initial reports stated that the strike targeted ground-to-ground missile systems, and dozens of jets still are in the Iranian skies. So it's also reported near the railway by the airport and the Tabriz airport is east of the Azerbaijan province. It's the main terminal and a key airbase for Iran. The Iranian media reported explosions in Kermanshah and Shiraz, and Iran's communications ministry announced temporary internet limits in the country. So, El Arabiya quoted the Israeli sources saying that 300 Israeli strikes up until now were carried in Iran. And Iranian outlets said that other targets were hit, including Arak, Parchin, Khonbad, plus Kermanshah, Ilam, Qom, Hamdan, and other areas in Iran. And the IDF said that 200 planes dropped 330 munitions, terminating the Iranian chief of staff, the Revolutionary Guards commander, and emergency HQ chief, plus more commanders. Iran launched over 100 UAVs at Israel, and all of them were eliminated on their way to the Jewish state. So I want to see if Mati is joining us. Is Mati already with us or not yet? In the meantime, guys, you can leave me a comment of some questions on this strike as we're getting more information on this strike. Okay, Mati is still not with us. So guys, so far the Air Force has removed all threats to Israel. So keep spreading the truth, share, and follow us. It's very important. Take a minute and hit that subscribe button to help us reach more people with what is happening in Israel. Israel is fighting this war on multiple levels. We have the actual war that we fight with planes, with tanks, with military power, but we have the war for the truth. And sadly, in this war, we are losing, because Israel here does not want to carry out attacks against the Iranian people. We love the Iranian people. I call on all of you to pray for the people of Iran, but the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps is hijacking the country, is funding terrorism, and is orchestrating their proxies, if it's the Houthis, Hezbollah, the people in Gaza, the terrorists in Judea and Samaria, to launch attacks against the Jewish state. We are defending ourselves. We do not want to be in this war, but we have to fight it, because if we won't, we will not be here. So the President of the United States, Donald Trump, referred this afternoon to Israel's preemptive strikes in Iran as part of Operation KeLavi. And he warned that the Tehran regime will reach even more harsh responses if they do not reach an agreement regarding their nuclear program through negotiations. He stated, "I gave Iran the chance to make a deal. I told them in the strongest words, just do it. But no matter how hard they tried and how close they got, they just couldn't do it." Trump added on his Truth social media, "Now everyone is dead, and it will only get worse. But there is still time to stop this cringe before the next attacks, which are expected to be even more brutal and materialize in the coming steps if Iran does not agree to any kind of agreement with the United States. Iran must reach an agreement. Just do it before it's too late. God bless you all." This is the American President Donald Trump. And he continued, "I told them that the United States produced the best and deadliest military equipment that anyone in the world has, by far, and that Israel has plenty of it, and much more on the way. And they know how to use it." Certain extremist Iranians spoke boldly, but they didn't know what was about to happen. There was already a great amount of death and destruction, but there is still time to bring this slaughter to an end. Earlier, Trump told Fox News that he's following developments in the Middle East and that the United States Central Command, CENTCOM, is on high alert. And according to him, Iran cannot possess a nuclear bomb, and we hope to return to the negotiating table. The United States will defend itself, and Israel, if Iran responds in this situation. The Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister, Abbas Araghchi, spoke by phone with his Saudi counterpart, Faisal bin Farhan, telling him that the Israeli aggression against Iran would not have occurred without the United States' coordination and the United States approval. He said the American government, as the main supporter of the Zionist entity, bears responsibility for the severe consequences of this aggression. Arak, who leads Tehran's talks with the Americans on the nuclear agreement, added, the Zionist aggression against the nuclear facilities and the residential areas is a blatant violation of the United Nations Charter, and responding to Zionist aggression is Iran's legitimate right, and Iranian security forces will defend the country with all their might. Iran calls on the International Atomic Energy Agency to take a clear stance condemning the aggression as a member of the Non-Proliferation Treaty. It is our right to respond under Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, and we will defend our country with all our strength. Although the Israeli strike in Iran was carried out without United States involvement, Ynet, an Israeli news portal, has learned that the Americans assisted in intercepting the UAVs that were launched from Iran. Because of the preemptive strike, it was clear in Israel that not all the countries that took part in the interception operation on October 1st would join this time. The assessment was that the Americans will join first, followed by others, but the United States ultimately decided not to leave Israel alone and provided help. Now, we move to information about the craziest operation in this whole story, the Operation Beepers on Steroids. The Mossad, the Israeli secretive intelligence agency, was set up an explosive drone base inside the heart of Iran. And a security source reveals that the Mossad established a base of explosive drones that agents had inserted deep inside Iran long before this attack took place, and they were launched tonight. Everything that can be told about the daring mission, this Operation Beepers on Steroids, is coming up right now. So much will be said about the current campaign against Iran, but one amazing detail that can be told this morning is that the Mossad set up an explosive drone base near weapon systems in Iran. The drones were inserted long before the strike by the Mossad agents into Iran, and at the outset, they were launched. A security source disclosed some of the activity that was carried out by the Mossad operatives in this operation. The IDF and the Mossad worked shoulder to shoulder for years, preparing the intelligence files needed to execute last night's Israeli preemptive strike as part of the Operation KeLavi. This is according to the source. And according to him, comprehensive intelligence was gathered and surveillance conducted to incriminate senior Iranian defense officials and nuclear scientists who were eliminated, and alongside a covert operational campaign to damage Iran's strategic missile array. So, meanwhile, in parallel to the wide-ranging Israeli Air Force strikes, the Mossad, in intelligence operational technological cooperation with the IDF and the defense industries, led a series of clandestine interdiction operations inside Iran. These operations were intended to cripple Iran's strategic missile array and its air defensive capabilities. So security officials say that the Mossad campaign was planned over a long period and required bold, sophisticated planning, groundbreaking thinking, and deception. All the missions demanded precise intelligence gathering, advanced technologies, and deployment of extensive commando forces that are operating in the heart of Tehran and throughout Iran in total secrecy under the eyes of the Iranian security and the intelligence bodies. As part of their actions, the Mossad agents carried out major moves to infiltrate special weapons in large quantities, position them across Iran, and launch them at targets accurately and effectively. This took care of all the anti-airplane defensive systems and the rockets that were meant to be sent towards Israel. And Ukraine's UAV strike a few days ago against Russian aircrafts and bombers at airfields across Russia was something similar to what happened in Iran. So it should be emphasized that three distinct and complex Mossad operational systems were employed. First, in central Iran, Mossad commando teams deployed operational systems of precision-guided munitions in open areas near Iranian surface-to-air missiles, the SAM systems. And at the start of the Israeli offensive, simultaneously with the Air Force strikes across Iran, the systems were armed and the precision missiles were launched at the target all at once with great accuracy. So, second, in another operation to neutralize Iran's air defensive systems, it destroyed the capabilities that that threatens basically the Israeli fighter jets. So the Mossad planted sophisticated strike systems and technologies on vehicles in covert missions. When the surprise attack began, the munitions were launched and completely destroyed the targets that the Iranian defensive systems prepared. Okay, guys, before we move on to the last thing that the Mossad did in the Iranian ground, I have with me our very own Mati Shoshani coming to us from his IDF unit. He was just called up to Judea and Samaria when this attack started. Mati, how are you doing? Looks like it's hot over there.
It's been a hot and long day. I was just realizing we started our days at 3 a.m. today, something like that, and now it's almost 5 p.m. We haven't stopped yet. But it's been good. It's been good. It's been good to see the amount of response that the IDF has carried out. If in October 7th, a year and a half ago, the thought was, or the sensation was, that we're not there, we're not ready, that's not the case right now. The IDF is absolutely ready for anything that's coming. The amount of people that have been recruited and the level of intricate planning, the level of building up units and building up operations, and everything that goes with that has been very, very impressive, from what I've seen, at least personally. And I think we're looking at a completely different kind of operation. We're being exposed to the tip of the iceberg on what was years in the making of planning and meticulous research and on-the-ground intel and Mossad agents on the ground inside Iran. I mean, this is the kind of stuff, and I think we said this earlier today at 4 a.m. when we did the live. This is the kind of operation that in 10, 15 years, we're still going to be learning about and talking about. Just absolutely well planned, absolutely meticulously executed, wave after wave of strikes. And I want to tell you that the morale is high. We recruited in my unit more soldiers than we needed quickly. We sent out a call and we said, even before like the orders went out, says guys come in, and people were there. So morale is high in Israeli society. People know why we're here. They know what we're fighting for. They realize, and I think we have this sensation of we're doing this because this is something that needed to be done to self-preserve the people of Israel, to protect us, something that's been going on for a long time. That's why we're here. That's why we're fighting. That's why we're away from our families, to protect this country. And I feel like everywhere in this country, and I'm currently in northern Judea, there's a sense of both apprehension, but also of internal pride. There's a sense of readiness and preparedness to what's happening, but not with the kind of fear and panic that maybe existed a long time ago. It's different. It's a sense of knowledge that we're a well-oiled machine, that our army has performed beautifully in the last 12 hours, and that we're going to continue to do so in the past. And now we're prepping for whatever the Iranians have to bring, whatever they're going to try and fire, whatever they're able to try and incite and sort of drum up in this region. We're ready and waiting for them.
Yeah, definitely, Mati. So you are now located in the area of Judea and Samaria, and the fear is that Iran will use their Palestinian proxy terrorist organizations to launch attacks towards Israel. This is another scenario that Israel is preparing for, Mati?
Yeah, I mean, this is something they've tried in the past, unsuccessfully. They've tried to recruit from among Palestinians. They've tried to recruit from among Israeli Arabs, Israeli-Palestinian Arabs specifically, for intel, for sabotage, for terrorist attacks. And I think the fear is mixed. It's a fear that would talk about, look, we have, if there's a barrage of missiles or drones coming in, the hope is they'd be able to incite some kind of response or infiltration attempt or terrorist attack while people are busy hiding in bomb shelters or protecting themselves, and that we would be caught unprepared for such an attack. So sort of taking advantage of the opportunity. And look, sometimes it doesn't even have to be directly linked to the Iranians. It can just be an expression of joy and identification with the goal of attacking Israel from the Palestinian Hamas supporting or jihad supporting, Islamic jihad supporting population in this area. And the IDF doesn't want to take any chances. This is a war both for measurable goals, stopping the Iranian nuclear program, but it's also something different. It's a war for public perception of power, for the projection of ability, for the projection of capability. And Israel so far has done really well, 11 out of a 10 on that scale.
Yeah.
And the goal is to make sure that there's no vulnerability that is exposed. There's no weakness that is exposed. There's no public humiliation or perception of victory for our enemies, as small as it may be, because a lot of this has to do with PR and with perception. So we're fighting, it's a battle on many, many different fronts here. I'm not on the front lines. I'm on the front lines in this region. There are guys fighting, on the front lines in Gaza and in Lebanon and Syria, and guys flying bombing missions in, over Tehran and working inside the soil of Iran. And I, salute those guys. But we're here to make sure that things are safe, to make sure that nothing trickles into this area, to make sure that the civilian population in this area continues to live a regular life and doesn't encounter terrorism or the threat of terrorism, and that no one's exploiting a weakness involved with the IDF moving forces, etc. So look, it's going to be an interesting couple days till we sort of see the first wave of the Iranian blowback go by or pass by, and then I think we'll be a lot more knowledgeable about where we're going and when we get to go home.
Yeah, definitely, Matti. First of all, thank you for putting on the uniform, the boots, and for protecting us. Judea and Samaria is basically also the area here behind me. So Israeli communities are attached, and sometimes there is no fence between the Israeli communities and the Palestinian communities. So what you're doing is very, very needed. If you have a little bit more time, if you can share maybe to our viewers how to pray for you and for your unit.
Yeah, I'll say before you pray for me, behind every soldier or almost every soldier that stands in in the field, there is a family. My children need more prayer than I do. I'm okay. My children had to watch their father wake them up this morning and say, "I'm going back into reserves," and that was a lot harder than me going into the reserves or the threat of reserves. It was leaving the kids behind. It's been 18 months, and out of those, I don't remember what the number is. I've done hundreds of days in reserves, and as have many others. And we're adults. We have the comprehension and the psychological mechanisms to deal with these kind of things to a certain degree. For the children, for the families left behind, it's a lot harder, and there's a lot more uncertainty and inability to take action. I'm at least active in what I'm doing. I'm active in my duty. I'm active in my command post. For them, they need prayer for their hearts, for their souls, for the families left behind. And I want to say this also, the army is strong, but we have an economy that needs to keep running. I manage a team that needs that needs leadership. We have great leaders on our team, but again, every time people are called off into reserves, you included, Yair, it's something that's left behind, and other people have to carry the burden for that. So I think first, pray for the families, pray for the home front, pray for the mothers and the fathers and the grandparents. My kids are currently with their grandparents. For the grandparents that are watching over the kids, pray for them. And then secondly, pray for supernatural protection for our soldiers. But I think this is really a time where it's wisdom for the generals, wisdom for the leaders to really do the creative work that we've been seeing the last 24 hours. The deception and the trickery that's needed to fight an enemy like Iran, the wisdom to really, to set the stage to do such a complex attack, the meticulous planning that's needed to go in it. It's a machine that works together, led by good people that have spent a lot of time working towards this moment. And I'm just here, I'm tactical level officer, just here doing the right thing to keep our country safe. And prayers are appreciated, and prayers do matter. It's important for me to say that. And we've felt an overwhelming support. I think one of the strongest emotions I've felt in the last 18 months has been the love of support of people from around the world that have gone out of their way to reach out to me and to many others and say, we're standing with you, we're praying with you, we're supporting you in material matters, in prayer, in everything you need. That's made a huge difference for myself and for many of my soldiers.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Matti. Yeah. I know you have 50 soldiers to go to attend to. Thank you so much, and really we salute you.
Salute you back. Good seeing you.
Thank you. And guys, I want to go back to the Mossad story. This is the third undercover operation that the Mossad did in Iran for this strike to take place. And that is the explosive drone base that the Israeli agents inserted deep inside Iran. And the Israeli Mossad agents used these drones to strike it all the anti-aircraft defensive systems, allowing our planes to strike the key nuclear facilities, to strike the long-range missiles that were meant to be launched towards Israel immediately after this strike, but this time they had no missiles to launch at us. So guys, this is our latest update on everything that is happening between Iran, Israel, this region. It's never a dull moment in the Middle East, in Israel, especially not in the IDF. We have great people that risk everything in order to defend us and in order to defend the Western world from these terrorist regimes that if they have nuclear weapons, Israel is just one step in the way to destroy the United States of America and Europe, and they're not afraid of saying that. They call Israel the small Satan and the United States the big Satan. Israel just is on the way to destroying the entire world. And thank God that he's helping us. He's with us. We have succeeded in a crazy operation that took part in enemy soil 2,000 miles away from us. And it's only because God is faithful. He's protecting us. He's protecting the people of Israel. So really, I encourage you to pray for Mati, pray for his unit that are defending us in Judea and Samaria, protecting the Israeli communities from Palestinian terrorists and from other Iranian proxies and enemies that want to destroy this country. So guys, if you like these videos, first of all, subscribe. Then second of all, pray for the peace of Jerusalem, make it personal. And if you want to do more, you can hit that donate button on YouTube. It will help us create more videos just like this one, and we will reach more people with what is happening in Israel, because our enemies are controlling the narrative and they have distorted the truth of what's happening in this land to a point that university campuses, Ivy League university campuses, are calling Israel the bad guys in this situation, even though we never wanted a war with any of these enemies. We want to live here. I want to send my girls to school. I want them to celebrate their birthdays without the fear of running to bomb shelters. Okay? But what can we do? They want to attack us. We are ready to fight back. And the IDF proved again and again that it is ready, and the Israeli defensive forces were never as ready and prepared as they are right now. So I encourage all the enemies of Israel to back off, because we are ready and we're not giving them any second chances to destroy us. Okay, so guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for praying with me. And I'm sure we'll see you again in the next couple of days. We are here, boots on the ground for TBN Israel. I'm Yair Pinto. Keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem, guys.